Welcome to this blue collar coder short subject on Valtio, a new state manager for React. I'm Jack Harrington at Jaher on Twitter. So what's a state manager and why would you use it? Well, the state managers we've been used to so far are things like Redux and MobX. And a lot of people have been migrating from those to like a use state, use context solution. But then if you don't have that global state manager, you kind of got to wonder, well, is there something lighter weight that I can use that still allows me to share data between components? And that's where solutions like Zustand or Jotai or Recoil or now Valtio come into the mix. I'm really excited to bring this one to you. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, so this is the Valtio GitHub page, and it talks about how to use it. We're just going to kind of jump right into it. But if you want to know what the word means, let's go over to Google Translate. Type that in, and it detects it as Finnish and says that it's Finnish for state, which makes a lot of sense. So the way that we're going to try this out is we're going to build this weather app. It's got a high-level component that has main in it. And it's got a search section over here in the light blue, and then a city section over here in the light green. It's got a nice little get weather function that you can use that goes and uses GraphQL to go and get some weather information. We're really not going to dig down into the details on that one. We got cities. This is going to show not only the cities that we've added, as well as the average of all of the temperatures of those cities. Kind of cool. We got our search section over here. It's got that input field as well as a button to add a city. And then it's got this, which the weather result, which just formats some weather. It's not that big of a deal. But before I get into that, what I want to do is call out what I'm looking for in these new state managers. And that's a couple of things. So I want to be obviously able to manage shared state. I want to allow for subscriptions, which means reacting to changes from a React context. Mutation, meaning that it can change state from a React context again. I want to also be able to do that from a non-React context. I want to be able to add methods on that global state so that you can make kind of larger business logic level changes that might change across a whole bunch of fields. I want to be able to do derived data. So for example, the average temperature would be derived data from all of the global state. And then of course I want to optimize re-renders, meaning that if something over here, for example, the cities change, then this component, the search field, shouldn't change necessarily. Things like that. These are the key elements that I'm looking for in any new state manager. So as we go along, we'll be kind of filling in these check marks if Valtio lives up to our test. So let's see if it does. First, let's bring it in. And now we don't need to make any changes at all, no providers or anything else to use Valtio, which is actually really cool kind of right off the bat. So what we're going to do next is create our shared state store. Now to create the shared state store, we bring in a proxy function from Valtio. Now, because I'm in TypeScript, I'm going to go and create an interface which is going to define what our store is going to look like. And at the moment, all that's going to have is just city in it. Now to create the store, I just use proxy. And then I give it the initial value. And then I export that. Okay, so looking pretty good so far. So now let's go over into our search component and go and support this. Now I don't want to use proxy here. I want to use proxy. And then I want to bring in the store. And now in the component, I just get a snapshot of the state. and give it the store. Still looking good, no problems over here. Let's go and now set the value of the input to that city. The only way to check it is to add a new value in there. Huh, all right, looks pretty good. So let's check out what I want so far and see how we're doing. So we can manage shared state, and we can allow for subscriptions. Now we need to allow for mutations. So to set the store, you just have to set it. Okay, so let's go back over here. We can allow for mutations now. The next thing I'm going to do is allow for global methods, and that would mean this add city button. I'm actually going to go off and add the city along with its weather to an array of cities and their weather, which we'll put over here into cities. So let's build all that out. First thing I need to do is create an interface for the city weather. And it's going to have the name of the city, as well as its weather. And now we want to have an array of those. And we need to initialize that to nothing. And finally, we need to actually implement add city. So let's go and build that method. We're going to make this an async function. And we're going to await the weather. And then use the current value of city from store. Now, if we got weather back, let's go and add that to that array. We'll give it the name of the city, as well as the weather we just got back. And finally, we'll empty out the name of the city. Okay, the last thing to do would be to hook it up to this button. Let's try that out. Okay, well, one more thing to actually do, and that would be to go over into cities and display it. All right, let's try this out. Nice. Looks like it's currently 75 degrees in Miami. That's awesome. Let's see how it is here. Yeah, okay. A little bit cooler here at 49 degrees. No problem. Okay, great. So a little formatting weirdness, with the extra numbers, but that's fine. So let's see how we're doing on our what I want. So subscriptions from non-React, haven't done that yet. Mutations from non-React for sure, because this guy now mutates the state, just again, simply by setting it. We allow methods on the global state. Yep, absolutely. That's add city. That's great. And now really quickly, let's just show you how subscriptions work from non-React. All you need to do is bring in the subscribe method. We'll drop that down here. Subscribe to store, and then just console log if anything shows up. And now let's try that again. And we can see that the store tracks its changes. Nice. According to the documentation, you can even do store.cities if you like, and only see when cities change. Really up to you. Okay, looks pretty good. So now let's go and do this average so we can show derived data from the global store. There's a couple of different ways to do that. I'm just going to go and add a method to the store itself. All right, let's go back over into cities. And then add a city. Excellent. Oh, okay. Well, I should actually average it. Hold on. Over 0 is not a number. There we go. Nice. Awesome. So let's now go and look for our last one, which would be optimized re-renders, and see if that actually works. So we'll save everything out, open in a new window. And if we go over into the inspector, we'll bring up the components and now highlight when any updates to the components render. So now keep an eye over here as well as here when I add a new city. You can see that only the affected elements over here change. Pretty nice. Actually, we can do one less thing here and really show it off. So if I just keep the name of the city around, then only that will update. So let's go back over here. Again, Portland. And now you can see that only this side changed as the new data came in. So really clean, nice atomic updates. Pretty much everything you'd want from a small state manager, you're going to get with Valtio. Not bad. All right, I hope you enjoyed this short subject on Valtio, a new state manager for React. I certainly enjoyed researching it and bringing it to you, but I want to hear from you. Be sure to put that in the comment section down below, or go on the description and click on the Discord link and just talk to us on the Discord channel. All right, I will see you on the next one of these. In the meantime, be happy, be healthy, and be safe.